This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
And welcome back to another edition of Issues in Education. Mondays during the Noon Report, we invite you to the front of the classroom to talk about all that's happening in our schools with Dr. Ralph Kerr at the Teaching and Learning Institute. Ralph, I don't know about you, but I wasn't one of those front of the classroom type students. I was kind of more in the back, but I digress. I hope you enjoyed the big game Sunday and the right team won, sir.
Yeah, well, my team was not there, so I didn't really care.
Me neither. I was rooting for the commercials. So anyway, hey, we got a lot to discuss this week. Let's dig right in. Governor Hochul says she will reset the formula for how education dollars are divvied out in New York, promising that those funds are going to reflect school enrollment. And most schools have seen their enrollment go down. So I imagine this is a subject of much consternation in public schools across New York State. First of all, do you support the decision by the governor, and why is enrollment down so much in not just New York, but Pennsylvania? It seems to be a problem in both states.
Yes, well, certainly enrollment is down, and there are a couple of reasons for that. One is that people are just moving out, and also there are less children being born now. So there's definitely a decline, and the governor proposed a really revolutionary way to construct the budget this year. What the governor is saying is that we need to look at the enrollment, and we're already the highest price per student cost in the nation. And so we got to figure out a better way to serve the children without it costing more and more money every year. There's been all kinds of decline in the area where I live. Some of the districts have had 54.6% decrease in one district, 36.9 in another, 27.5 in another. And compounding the situation is that the federal stimulus funding is expiring this year.
Yeah.
So districts are in a world of hurt.
Yeah, they are. I always look at things through the realm of sports. And years ago when I was playing, the A schools are now the C schools, and the C schools are now the D schools, which tells you something as far as student enrollment goes. Well, hey, let's head south to Pennsylvania, Ralph. The School Boards Association there releasing its State of Education report. This 48-page report lists student mental health, staffing shortages, and funding as the three greatest challenges facing schools in Pennsylvania. Mental health, staffing, and funding. Do you agree, Ralph?
Well, it's kind of funny. For one thing, I do agree with mental health, but I want to add to the student mental health, teachers, administrators, and other staff, because I do think this is a tremendous problem in all schools right now, the mental health of the people that are working there, and certainly the students would be included in that. Mm-hmm. Staffing shortages, I believe, can be taken care of, which is to have less people working for the school. 80% of any school budget is people, and if you get declining revenues like we just talked about, then you're going to have less people. It's kind of a backwards way to get at staffing shortages, but it is a way to do it. And the other factor is I'm all for using the existing funding better and smarter rather than always saying that the answer is to just throw more money at the situation.
Gotcha. Stop paying for kids that don't exist. I heard a line from one person saying that. I thought that was great. And then finally, this is the time of year, Ralph, past that time, really. If you're thinking about running for your school board, now is the time to get moving. We mention at this program all the time your website. I get calls from people who say, that's kind of a different kind of website. Why run? What's that all about? And the whole reason for that is why run for your local school board? What are some things that people need to keep in mind if they're feeling that call?
Well, again, go backwards here and say that the annual budget vote and school board election is on May 21st. If you're interested in running for your school board, you have to have your signed petition into the district by April 22nd. So if you're thinking about it, some practical things you could do would be to attend the school board meeting in your community, see if you like the people that are on the board now and if you think you can work with them. And this is a critical time for school boards because they're dealing with the budgets at this time. And talk with your friends, and then, of course, Be sure to check out the videos that we have on the website at whyrun.org, where we talk about some of the reasons to consider running and some of the reasons not to run for the school board. And it's simply whyrun.org.
All right, and that is exactly why he is there in beautiful Houghton, New York, is to get more Christians involved in their public schools. If you want to serve your community, there is no greater way you can do that than to serve on your local school board. You mentioned it already, Ralph. If you would, one more time, what's that website, sir?
Absolutely, just whyrun.org.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.